Hello, my name is Tim Lahili, and in this video we're going to go over specialized viewers in Quincy. And when I mean specialized viewers, I'm not talking about actually viewing documents. I'm talking about viewing the entire data set. The primary form of viewing the data set is through the grid, which is what's presented in front of us. Just sort of an Excel spreadsheet-like presentation of the data. This is good in most scenarios. However, there are a number of very distinct scenarios in which it really falls short. In those situations, we give you these buttons up top in the top right as alternative ways of viewing the data. We have a thumbnail viewer, we have a timeline viewer, we have a geolocation viewer, and we have a social analyzer, each one designed for a specific type of data. The thumbnail viewer obviously designed for images. If you're looking through 1,000 images, doing it this way is just not useful. Looking at clicking through the grid and looking at a viewer is just too slow. It's much easier to look at them all in sort of thumbnail presentation, which would look something like this, assuming I actually had images in this case. Let's go ahead and load the thumbnail viewer. And I think I actually have no valid images here. Let's see what comes up. Yeah, all these are broken links because there aren't underlying thumbnails. But if we had underlying thumbnails and we were looking through images, this would be a much faster way of doing it. Because you can obviously absorb 20, 40 images all at one time versus having to look at them one at a time. The second alternative is the timeline. Again, if we're looking for a sequence of events, looking through a grid is often not as intuitive as looking at a timeline. So let's pull up our timeline here. We offer two different timelines, a case level timeline, and this will put everything in your case, sort of in chronological order based on number of objects. There's 372 here, 204 here, so on and so forth. Or you can do a grid timeline, and this will actually map out whatever documents you've placed in the grid. So if you get your grid down to the 30 or so documents you think are relevant, you want to put them in a sort of a more visually appealing presentation, you can do so here. There are a lot of features you can take advantage of in the timeline viewer, like, for example, show naming. If you want to name these objects something other than object ID, which is what they're called here, you can go ahead and select something different, object name, for example, and it will rename all these objects based on their object name. Now you can see that a number of these groupings are called group container. That means more than one object occurred at this time. And if you want to see that, you can go ahead and just click on one of these and it will filter the grid accordingly. And then you can see, in this case, 4 objects that occurred on that particular time. So let's go ahead and close that and remove that filter. So we get back to all of our data. The next relevant one is the map geolocation. Going to be pretty unexciting here given I don't have any geolocation data, but if I did have objects, particularly images often have geolocation data, I could plot them here and then use the sort of shift zoom capability to zoom in or filter on different objects and move around the map and see where this person or where this data had been geographically. And then finally, probably the most powerful one by far is the social analyzer, because communications are such a key piece of data at this point. The social analyzer will allow you to map all communications based on sort of the to and from of the communications. Again, unfortunately, I don't have any email here, so it's not that powerful presentation, but you can sort of come here and let me show you what we have available. We can map calls, we can map emails. If we had chats, they would all be presented here. And this will show you all the individual emailers, tos and froms, and if you just go ahead and click on them, it will plot them accordingly based on who's talking to who, and you could just see the flow of the communications. So those are the 4 possible viewers within the Quincy Review platform. I think they cover most of the common scenarios. But if you have anything you're looking to do, please post a question about it, and we can see if we can get that capability to you. Anyway, that was all I wanted to present in the context of this video. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, obviously feel free to reach out, and I look forward to working with you. Thank you very much.